Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. This is our monthly R&R session that we do at the first Wednesday of every month from 12 to 12:30. It's the same Zoom link, so make sure to pop it in your calendar so it's a recurring appointment. You're always welcome, and these are recorded so that you are able to enjoy these whenever you want. It doesn't have to just be once a month, and these get saved into our R&R playlist on the Ascension, Wisconsin EAP YouTube channel. So I hope you can enjoy. We've been doing this for about 4 years now, so there's plenty of recordings, even if you wanted to do one once a day now, because we've got easily over 50 R&R videos uploaded, which is pretty incredible. So, my name is Shelly, and it is nice to see you all. I am an EAP counselor, and I'm based here in Oshkosh, and we provide counseling to those of you whose employer contracts with us for EAP services. And so we're delighted that you're here, and we do much more than just these R&R sessions. Like I said, we provide the in-person or virtual counseling that is completely free to you, and we provide lunch and learns every other month. And so be sure to check out our website for those dates and occurrences. So with these R&R sessions, like I said, I am a counselor with our EAP program. I'm also a registered yoga teacher and teach here in town. So we bring in a blend of guided imagery, grounding and deep breathing, and then we do some chair stretches or chair yoga. And today I've been thinking about March, and it felt so lovely. I thought too, when we had that warm weather last week, and I was just beyond myself. And as March does, it shifts around, but it's got me thinking about what brings that sense of rejuvenation to us. So I found this little poem, if you will, or quote that I wanted to share. Oops. And then March swept in with its breezes and rain, readying the lands for spring with scattered bursts of sudden color rising from the dull ground while announcing their desire to breathe life again. I don't know anything about certainty or being sure or steadiness in this unforgiving world, but I do know about seasons, especially spring. Spring always comes again. And that's written by Victoria Erickson. So take a moment here and bring both feet to the floor. Sink the weight of the body into your chair and take a moment. This image is just slightly blurry, but maybe close your eyes and think of being in the forest, but not just the forest at any time of the year. Come into mind the woods in early spring. It might be muddy. There might not be much budding on the trees. It might still be a little crisp in the air, but you can tell that there's a shift, not just a shift in your external environment, but a shift within yourself. Maybe an awakening, rejuvenating, revitalizing, just sense of energy. And so if your eyes aren't closed yet, go ahead and close them and come into your physical body, going inward with your eyes closed, starting to distance from the sights and sounds around you. And listen to yourself. Listen for your heartbeat. Notice the rhythm of your breath as the belly rises and falls. and think about activities you like to do, or maybe have gotten away from, either whether it's been years or months. But what are activities that you've done in the past that bring a sense of rejuvenation, of revitalization, something where you just feel fresh? Stay here another moment. The beautiful thing about this season, and just to bring in some yoga philosophy, this comes from Ayurveda, the lifestyle that is the sister to yoga, asana, the poses. Uh, we talk about the seasons or the doshas, and there's a dosha called kapha, and we're entering into kapha season. Kapha is moist, it's wet, it's lush. And when kapha is in balance, it just it nourishes, right? It hydrates. We've been dried out for so long and dead, right? And so this moisture in the air comes in. When kapha gets out of balance, we get a lot of congestion in the chest, especially the lungs. We feel lethargic, heavy. So typically around this time of year, you're eating a little bit lighter, and trying to warm yourself with activities. And when I think of kappa in balance, I think of my time traveling in Ireland, seeing the calla lilies blooming wild, but just the green was just so, so vibrant. And as we think about the season, shifting into spring, this vibrancy that comes forward. And what's interesting too in yoga philosophy, we have the chakras, the energy centers, and the heart, anahata, is the chakra there. The color for it is green, and so I invite you to take a moment here and come into your heart space, breathe into it, and imagine this heart space being lush, being nourished, this area having everything that it needs. And as you come into this place within the heart, it's often either right at the heart, you could even think the bottom of the heart, right underneath the heart. Don't limit this space. If you feel like, oh, it's really big, good, go for it. But what words come to mind when you think of revitalization or um, rejuvenation? What are some other words that come to mind for you? It might be a lot of words that start with re, like regrowth, renewal, rebirth, refresh. But there's lots of other words too. Nourish, vibrant. What does this space, when you think of it being well nourished, what comes to mind? What does it feel like? And what are some activities that maybe you can start bringing in that help you to really focus on this in the coming weeks, that bring you a sense of renewal and reawakening? What are some of the things that you've been missing during these winter months that you can't wait to get back to? For those of you who are gardeners, when we start figuring out what we're going to plant, what seeds we're going to start, when, um, the activities, being able to exercise outdoors again without slipping or hurt ourselves. We did not get enough snow time for good cross country skiing or snowshoeing much this winter, but a few of us were able to sneak some in a couple of weekends ago. coming down through this softening and nourishment, travels down from your sits bones down through the legs. You can even feel it maybe deep down into the bones, as well as the joints of your knee and the toes. The softening is in the throat and the ears, the temples and the forehead. There's a renewal and a nourishment in the mind and the brain. And just let the brain your thoughts slink to the back of the skull and soften the scalp and the head a little bit more. Soften the mouth, the muscles in the mouth and the tongue, as well as the area around the nose, and breathe. Notice the nourishment of the breath as you breathe in, feeling it at the tip of your nostrils with the inhale, and at the tip of the nostrils with the exhale, noticing that first touch of the breath in and out. And let the breath become when you think of the wisdom of the ankles, especially when we're balancing, or the bottoms of our feet, our toes. What happens when there's an amputation? How, somebody has to relearn certain things, even for a big toe. So there's just this amazing wisdom within the body, and the whole body is thinking and communicating and coordinating with each other. So think of yourself as an integrated whole right now. Notice the beat of the heart. And bring your hands together. The palms meet, rub the hands together, creating this warmth between the hands. And once you feel that warmth, bring the palms over your eyes. And just do a light massage with the fingertips around the forehead and the temples, maybe the cheekbones and the jaw. So, what brings us a sense of renewal? It can be big stuff, big movements, but it can be really subtle too. Just touch, rubbing our arms, rubbing our legs, massaging the face. We're going to come into a little bit more movement. So, go ahead, removing the hands from the face and gently opening the eyes. And we're going to move through some stretches here. So let's move through and come to the top of your seat because we're going to do some arm exercises and we don't want the back of the chair getting in the way. And go ahead and start swinging the elbows out and forward, alternating which arm comes up. Now notice the sits bones, engage your abdominals. The feet are rooted. And we're just going to travel up, scissoring the hands, alternating. And then we're going to come back to steadiness, to center, bring the elbows out, and we're just going to rotate back and forth. And you could even extend the one arm that's reaching across the body. Notice what this does to the middle of the back, the area, the front and back of the heart. Good. Come back to center. Rotate the shoulders. So bringing some love here to the shoulders. They do so much for us. Reverse direction. And let the breath continue to steady itself. Good. Now bring the elbows back towards each other. And back forward. Open up the back of the heart here. And again, arching the back, bringing the chest forward, squeezing between those elbows, squeezing between the shoulder blades, and then hug it in. Yeah. Bring the arms up. So think of this as an I, the letter I. Call this alphabet soup. Wiggle the fingers, just loosen them up. And we're going to come into T. So open up the arms, level with the shoulders. Press the backs of the hands to the wall behind you so that you're really opening up and feeling a nice stretch in the upper back here, as well as maybe the armpits. Come into U, bend the elbows, maybe lift the chin up towards the sky, opening the throat. And then bring the elbows in for W. Squeeze a little bit deeper between those shoulder blades. And then bring the fingertips forward. The arms are in the shape of an L. And imagine the energy resting here at the palms as they hover above your legs. And then clasp the hands behind you, creating a fist. If that's not available, you can grab opposite wrists or the back of the chair and squeeze a little bit more. But it's nice if you hold onto the chair because you can even pull forward and get a deeper stretch here. And you can tuck the chin and breathe. Good. Releasing from that stretch and come back to center. The hands rest on the lap. The eyes are closed. The feet are rooted. And just feel here. Don't think about what you're feeling, just feel. And bring awareness to the belly as it moves with the breath. Beautiful. Now let's work on the legs. So let's move the legs, just they're parallel, or let me say, they're hips width apart. Bring your hands onto opposite knee and just, I'm not opposite knee, onto the knees and just move them back and forth towards each other, like you're moving them in and out. Yeah, good. Now bring that left leg to center, the left foot plants, hug the right knee in, take the knee with your right hand and move it in circles, like you're stirring a pot with the lower leg. This is a little bit of balance, so really engage the abdominals, reverse direction. Equal amount on each side. Plant that right foot, lift the left leg, hug it in, and then take the knee in the left hand and move the knee in circles. So we're opening the hips here a bit in reverse direction. I'm on a swivel chair, so this is interesting. Good. Plant both feet. And bring the bottoms of the feet together. The knees come out wide and do some butterfly. Flutter the knees up and down. They're not going to touch, but we're just moving them a little bit more. So getting this activation, right? It's subtle, but it's getting the heart pumping. We're creating this warmth within. Okay. And fluids are moving around, our lymph fluids. We're getting that circulation, that blood flow really heals the body. But bring the right leg up, flex through that right foot. So you're pressing the heel towards the wall in front of you and lengthen the arms out from you as well. So arms are parallel to the floor, right leg is parallel to the floor. And we point and flex the fingers and the toes. Foot, rotate. Yeah, reverse direction. Good. Bring the hands down to the lap, the foot to the floor, and reverse. So the left leg lifts. We flex through that left foot. Feel a sense of steadiness and lengthen the arms out. The heels press of the hands press forward. And then we point and flex. And you could even synchronize this movement with your breath if you want. You can make it as slow or fast as you want. And then rotate the ankle, the wrists. So really want to pay attention to the joints this time of year. The arthritis can really act up with all the moisture and the pressure changes. So bringing movement to these areas is beneficial. Then we come back to center. Close your eyes and enjoy the nectar of those practices. What does it feel like? Is there a sense of rejuvenation here for you or self-nourishment? Because that's the beautiful thing, regardless of what the weather's like outside, regardless of our circumstances, we always have our breath, we always have our body. And there's beautiful ways that we can learn to practice bringing warmth into our body. When it's really hot, we can learn how to cool the body. And also what feels good to the physical body. There might be things that we do here that it doesn't fit for you, but you modify it, and then you're like, oh, this is really helpful. So feel free to experiment, be Goldilocks. So let's bring the arms out again, squeeze between the shoulder blades, and bring the right arm on top. The hands come to opposite shoulder. Bring the legs in towards each other. The feet are anchored, the knees are bent. Hug the abdominals in and curl. And before you curl, just try to lengthen up and then curl down. So you're bringing the elbows towards those inner thighs or the thighs. You're tucking the chin. You're creating some compression here. So it's not always going to be completely comfortable. The breath is going to be challenged. But what we're doing here is stimulating the vagus nerve and a lot of the organs. And when we hold here and breathe a few breaths, it's rejuvenating to the system. It moves, things that got stuck, it moves things around. So go ahead, curl it in. Another breath cycle. Drink in the breath. And then come up, open, and reverse. So the left hand comes to the on top with the shoulder, the right underneath. And we're going to curl again, create that ball, or think of it being like a seed. And the intelligence within a seed, that within, like when you think of an acorn or a sunflower seed, that it has everything within it to become that giant oak tree or a sunflower, and all the ways it benefits the creatures, including ourselves. Good. Inhale, reach up and become that tree, become that sunflower. Open the hands. Beautiful. Now let's bring the bottoms of the feet together again. They're not going to come completely together, especially if you have shoes or slippers on. And we're going to bring the right hand to the left knee and twist. So be aware of the abdominals here. Really sink the sits bones, like press them away from you, deep down into the chair, and lift out of that pelvic bowl. Lift through the crown of the head, and then twist from the hips, the lower back. You'll be able to twist just slightly from the navel center, and then through the heart center, the shoulder blades. And then maybe bring your chin towards that left shoulder. And breathe. Find a sense of stillness and note the safety here. Feel the replenishment of this twist. And come out. Take a moment here, pause, take a breath. And then let's switch so the left hand comes to the right leg or the right knee. The hand maybe comes to the back of your chair or to the lower back. Whatever feels available to you, modify it as you need. And once again, root the sits bones down, push them down, 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 and lift the spine, lift the crown of the head away from the sits bones, and then twist from the navel center or the hips even. The navel center, the chest, the rib cage, the front of the ribs, the back of the ribs, the collarbones, the shoulders, and the chin comes towards that right shoulder. Breathe deeply here. Good. Come back to center, bring feet back to the floor, and let's do a one or two cat cows. So in your cat, around the spine, hug the navel center in like we did with the seed pose, the chin tucks. And then as we inhale, we come into cow. The chest poofs forward, the chin lifts up, and we squeeze between the shoulder blades. And then once again, round, curl into your cat and come forward into your cow. Exhale back to center and scoot back in your chair. Make yourself comfortable again. And let's find our mini shavasana. So in our seated mini shavasana, we can just slump here, okay? And so we're slouchy in our chair. The legs can be out long. The arms rest on the arm rests or along your sides. You can even take them off and lean off the armrests and just let them dangle, and the head relaxes into the back here. If that's not available, you can always tuck the chin, but find a way here to just completely release. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale out through the mouth, sigh out. Oh, let's do that again. Inhaling, exhale, sighing out. Feel free to close your eyes. I'm going to read to you another quote. This one by Donna Ashworth. She is so talented. I follow her on social media and just love everything she comes up with. So she wrote recently about March. I have always believed March to be the harbinger of hope, the launch pad to lighter days, the gateway to spring. March soothes our winter-worn souls with anticipation and its promise of more. It gently shakes our hibernating toes and whispers, wake now, your wintering days are all but done. And so, with each earlier sunrise, we emerge, we reignite, we re energize. As with the nature around us, we begin to rise. Come on in, March. We have waited for your light, for your joy, for your new. We are ready. So, with this sense of anticipation and reemergence and renewal, I invite you all to bring whatever came forward today, that you bring it into the rest of your day, both work and home life. And feel free to visit these recordings whenever you like on our YouTube channel. So I just love this image. It reminds me of driving down south. My family was all Southerners, and driving through the foothills of the Appalachians and the rainbow colors of the budding trees in March and April. It's just gorgeous, especially when you go through the Smokies. And today's keyword, if you're collecting wellness points, is rejuvenate. And our contact information is in the lower right-hand corner. You can contact us anytime, and we are happy to help you. And if we can't help you directly, we will certainly point you in the right direction. So with that, I hope to see you next month. April's R&R, first Wednesday of every month, 12 to 12:30. All right. Thank you all.